concerns that I could answer for you at this time.
My biggest concern is when is he gonna be
I
out?
thought you had something left.
I understand. I understand. You know, that was my concern as well. We are short-stay
Bunch of beer, please.
Our hospital stays 5 to 7 days on average. It can be less, it can be more, but that's usually our average length. For working with dementia right now, I don't have a definite discharge order currently. It really is
Trying to connect to everything right now.
once the doctor, the nurse, and the social worker, myself are all comfortable with it being discharged, that's when we start to put everything in place for him.
Okay, and what's your position?
I'm a social worker.
Okay, and what's his diagnosis? The diagnosis?
Relax, just so you know.
Are we live now?
Looks like the doctor is waiting for walking diagnosis, which means I just
Can you
need
pull it up on
to
your Facebook and check?
we need a short period of time to put a diagnosis in.
Do what?
Can you pull it up on your Facebook and check?
Oh.
Because I'm testing something new. I don't want to make sure it's working.
Different things come to our attention, and the doctor may change that diagnosis. But currently, the doctor has diagnosed him with bipolar
Is it that one?
disorder.
Okay, and what medications are you
See,
giving?
I
Do you have
know
any options to?
that's what I did, and it wasn't.
So the way it works is the doctor prescribes the medications if the patient decides to not take the medication.
This one, right?
If the doctor still feels that he needs them, he would put in a medical override, which basically means that another psychiatrist would come and evaluate him as well. And if he felt that the patient also needed the medications, then he would be given the medications through an injectable parenteral.
See, I was trying this last week, and I
Do,
couldn't figure it
do you
out.
have the psychiatrist's name that's currently diagnosing?
Yes, it's Dr. Krishnaya. I can spell it for you if you'd like.
Yes, please.
It's Krishnaiah.
And where is he from? What hospital is he resident?
Hey guys, we're checking it out. I'm trying to make sure everything's good right now. Saying I'm dropping some frames, so I might stop it and restart it to do the live stream piece. And it might only go through Facebook, so I'll check back on the live stream piece. Give me 1 sec, and we'll be right back. We're still going to be on the radio though, so
One
stay
second.
tuned.
It's going to be very long, longer than short term. What will occur after that?
Okay. So what happens is after he has stayed with us and we felt that, he still needs longer in the hospital, we would refer him to a longer term hospital. It's not for, months or years or anything like that. It would be for an additional couple of weeks to continue to evaluate and hopefully get into that stable level if we felt that was necessary.
Yeah.
But I would update you on that too if that ends up being the case. I would keep you posted on that.
Of course. Thank you. I don't have any other questions right now. Let me take
Yeah,
your
we're back
phone.
live. I'm about to go live. That's not for me.
Which I left you this morning at 7
Oh, shit. Like, usually they give me a notification that we're on, but it's not, it doesn't do it. I used to do it.
I'm about
So,
to
who
go
do I
live.
contact on the weekends?
So I can give you did you get the number to the nurse's station?
No.
So there's always a social worker here during those hours, even on the weekends. But who is going to be, I won't know, but then there's a station well.
I see it in the
Questions. So the number is 737.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, my brain is fried today. It's been a very long day, and just like the past couple of days. So I don't have any other questions, but if you could connect me to the nurse's station so that I can get his current status, and we can find out if I can come visit him tonight.
Of course, no problem. And like I said, if you have questions,
Your settings, if you accidentally do something, yeah, I used to get notifications from it. Now I don't get nothing.
okay, no problem. 1 second. Yes, Ashley, how can I help you?
Hi, I just got connected by Katie, the social worker over there. This is regarding a patient, Kenworhty. I'm just wondering, I know that he has a no phone call status. I'm just wondering how his status is for visitors.
Who's calling to your question?
Mr. Kenworthy, Kenworthy.
Okay, and
This is Samantha Brown. I'm his authorized point of contact.
okay.
There it is.
So you're
See?
Yes, ma'am. Where is visitation rights as of right now? Hello? Hello, you're cutting out. Hello? Hi, I'm trying to find out Lee Kenworthy's visitation rights. I'm trying to find out a patient of yours, Mr. Kenworthy. I need to know his visitation rights as of right now. My name is Samantha Brown. I was just on the phone with a nurse. She went to go find out. I'm an authorized point of contact. Are you? Oh, they do. What is it? Yeah, but see, when I was arrested here, they didn't treat me nothing like that in the thing for the times again. Going in there for a copy. Same thing. I was arrested for a retaliation on a cop. That's the scars from him. This is from God. Hello? Hello? Hi. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Does that have a deadline, or is just a... Gotcha. Figure. What?
They died, bro.
All right. There, you just heard an actual call recording. That recording was sent to me by Samantha Brown, who is known in this story up to this point as a nanny who's been involved in this case with Mr. Lee Kenworthy. Now, tonight's show, if you haven't, I want to say, first of all, thank you for everybody joining us now, and everybody who's watching. This is growing just exponentially. I really appreciate it. We love it because we're able to bring you some truth and some real news. Pick your head up a little bit. We're able to bring you some truth and some real news, and we're covering issues that are affecting many people across the nation. This is a story that is multiple states involved in this story. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us. There's multiple parties involved in this story. There is a celebrity involved in this story. There's my dog in this story barking on the window. I apologize about that. Jamie, who's been an activist out of Indiana and has been, she's been doing a governmental pitch and everything else. Hi, Alan, right? Thanks for joining us. She's involved in this story. She's gone across state lines to go assist Mr. Lee in any way that she can. She has been giving us a lot of information, a lot of updates, a lot of stuff on this. She got arrested during this process. We still don't know what's going on with the kids. We don't know. I have a call coming in. Hang on a second. Can you answer that, please, Lily? I apologize. We still don't know what's going on with the children. If CPS has got the children, where the children are, if they do in fact have the children. So we want to get to the bottom of this tonight, guys. This is what it's about. This is what we are talking about.
Can you give me a minute? We're getting kicked off. And
Dilly hasn't been for a couple weeks. I'm so glad that he's back. And hey, thanks for the share, Teresa, Kathy. You guys are killing it. This is great. But I want to make it imperatively and critically important that we stick to the narrative of Mr. Kenworthy and the whole story that's going on here. I have court documents. I know that he... who is on the line, Dilly? How can I help them?
What was your name again?
And can you reference her to the studio number? If you want to call in...
You're Ashley? Actually...
The number is 683-682-7278. You'll be able to get on to the show. Like I said before, we're going to have to keep the calls to the point and so that we can get as many people in as possible, okay? So,
What was that?
the number is 683-682-7278. All right, lines are open. Okay? So, to start off with, to give you a little background on Mr. Lee Kenworthy, there's something I gotta tell you first of all, there's a court document. It's a civil case that has been shared with me by an anonymous source. It involves the United States District Court, District of New Jersey, and Lee Kenworthy. He is the plaintiff, and it is against the Housing Authority of Bergen County, and also against Antonia, or
Antonia
Alrighty.
Lacascio. I apologize if I verbally butchered your name. The other party involved is Lynn Bartlett, who is individually responsible, and Robert Moore, who is also individually responsible. Now, when I started going through this document, the plaintiff, Mr. Lee Kenworthy, will be referred to in the document here on after as Kenworthy. He is, and his attorneys at the time were the Derek Smith Law Group, PLLC, okay? They complained that the defendant, the housing group, the Housing Authority of Virgin County, and the individual defendants described, I'll be posting this later so that everybody can take a look at it, essentially were violating his civil rights. They were violating the Civil Acts Right, established in 1964, codified 42 U.S.S.C. 200E2, and the amendment that took place in 1972 and 1978 for the Civil Act Rights of 1991. Fix audio, please. Number two, what's the issue with the audio so that I can try and get that straight for you. Apologies, Julie. The other portion of what it says here is that they're also being charged with the nature of the case, violations of Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, as amended, and remedy violations of the New Jersey law against discrimination based upon supplemental justification of this court pursuant to United Mine Workers of America versus Gibbs. All right, so that gives you a basis of how the lawsuit's played out and what's going on with that. I don't have the decision fact on the lawsuit. Is the audio a little better now? I hope so. And if we're having too much lag, I'll stop the new platform and I'll start it again. So I apologize for the echo. I don't know why we're having some feedback like that, to be quite honest with you. It's been something I've been trying to get out of this situation in the system since I got it set up, but I haven't been as successful at it yet. So let me try this a little bit. Maybe that'll fix it better. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah, we're talking about how he has a case against the Housing Authority. Interestingly enough, I also shared a post today in regards to essentially what's like a Russian YouTube, is what it looks like. And Mr. Lee Kenworthy is on there, and it's the first installation of his documentary. And he's been trying to get this documentary published for quite a while. He's gone to ABC. He's had contact with an individual by the name of Tony there, ABC 7 up in New York. The ABC hasn't picked up the story. No national media has picked up the story. And he's been going at this for quite some time, okay? Jamie, thanks for joining us. Great to have you. Look forward to your call in. So when you look at this, and he's been going at this systematically for quite a while, I'm thinking in my head, I want to know, like, what is Mr. Lee being held for right now? Where did all of this actually stems from? I found another article written by the Turtle Web that says that he was a meth machine. So there's a lot of allegations coming out of this, and that's the kind of stuff we're trying to address. Now, Lee claims his wife died. He claims his wife died after, basically, they're saying it was an asthma attack, and he believes it was something different. He was administering CPR to his wife when the EMT and the police arrived, allegedly, and he was allegedly directed to by the EMT that he should not assist and he should desist from assisting his wife any further with her condition, that they were going to take care of it. Later on, Shay happened to pass away. She did not die. She did not survive that. She had some kind of fluid in her lungs. Now, I also have an audio here, and let me find it. Give me 1 second. And this is audio where David Blaine actually was called by Mr. Kenworthy because they had been friends I just got a comment on here that says Jamie is the detriment to this case. We're going to be taking all these opinions. I want to play this call for you, though, where Mr. Kenworthy called Mr. Blaine, who I'm to understand at this point in time has renounced any portion of himself involved in this because of the image and everything that could come with it. So I'm going to play this, and I hope you guys. I want to hear what you guys think about it.
Dave. Shay died, bro. Shay died, bro. Shay.
So this is where he's talking about his wife, Shay. He's talking to David Blaine, and he's explaining to Mr. Blaine that she had died. Okay, so we're going to continue with this thing. I apologize for the internet being a little slow. I'm trying to get it worked out without cutting the live feed. So as long as you guys have the audio and everything's good, you'll be able to catch it all, I promise. Okay.
Yes, she died, David. She died in the house that we're being held fucking prisoner in. That's what we were trying to get you to help us with. She died. She had a severe asthma attack and she fucking collapsed right in front of the fucking cops, dude. I called 911 to get an ambulance to come to the house. The minute the cops came in, she stood up. She said, Lee, I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. She turned around. She turned blue and she fucking fell, Dave.
Now, I don't know about you, but I can hear the pain and the emotion in his voice and how he is trying to keep his composure, essentially. And it really, I don't know what's going to happen from this point, so let's continue this conversation. But this is really striking at me, and I know there's a lot more to the story because we're getting comments in everywhere. Audio is awful. Only one mic should be rolling one time. All right, I'm going to get this mic thing adjusted, I promise you. If I don't want to cut the live feed, though, so I'm just going to get the mic adjusted. I'm going to turn the other mics down. Completely off. We'll go off the one mic. We'll do it that way because I want to make it as clear as we possibly can because of the importance of what's going on right now. So, and I thank you guys for giving me the feedback so that we get this stuff handled. And it really means a lot. So we're going to continue this conversation and we're going to continue talking about Mr. Blaine and his involvement. And so let's play the second part of this conversation.
Yes. 2 nights ago, we were up there trying to get the rest of our shit to get it out of there before we had Children's Social Services Court on fucking Thursday for the false allegation again. She just died, dude. We're 38, bro. We're 38. No shit.
I'm getting there, Mr. Marshall. I'm getting there. I got no gain. I've turned it down. I've turned down that piece just a touch. And I've shut off the other mics so that we can stay on the one mic here. So I'm getting there. I know my internet speed's a little slow. I do apologize.
We were living in, bro. 20-year-old carpet piss stain, bro. It was retaliation for.
Now, listen to what he's saying right here.
For us suing the state.
Retaliation for them suing the state. The case that he's referencing and talking about them suing the state right here is the same one I was just talking about in regards to the Housing Authority of Virgin County. It's the same one. Okay, so Mr. Lee Kenworthy, he worked at the property for the Housing Authority as a condition for them to live there, essentially to pay for stuff and to take care of everything. Part of the court document says that a big basis of the filing and of the discrimination and harassment was sexual, and they were using basically their positions of power and unequal opportunity employment because of the benefit of them living there, and they control the housing situation. They were using that as a tool to essentially keep them trapped and contained and controlled the way that they wanted them to be controlled and contained in their situation. I have the pictures of the cat piss carpet. I have the pictures of the house. I'm going to be putting those up here. I'm going to work them into the live feed now. I've got the pictures are not bullcrap. I see the pictures. Mr. Kenworthy maintains and has said he's fought for that it took them almost 3 months. I think it was even longer than that before they were even given permission to rip up the cat piss. Now, there's a question coming in from Kendall. It says, so Lee, his 2 children, and Samantha were all abused? He's very confused. I think we're all a little bit confused on this part here. Now, the sexual abuse that's being brought up against Sia. Okay, yes, I am aware of that. And there is an interview actually on YouTube of the children by the CPS workers dealing with the mother's death. And David Blaine, from my understanding, is the one who's been part witness to the undressing of the children by CPS workers, the spreading of the labia of the children, the female children, by CPS workers, who are not licensed physicians, to my knowledge, for that specific exam. Now, I do know and I do understand that the state and CPS and your Child Protective Services do have licensed physicians to perform those things, but they're paid for by the contractor. And there's a lot of comments coming about the confusion, and unfortunately, I do have to say it is a little confusing. It's a lot to jump into right at first. I think Jamie's going to be calling in to share her part of it. I think we're going to have some other guests calling in to share their part of it because, like you, Daisy, I have not been following this story from the beginning. I got handed the story. We kind of just took and ran with it, and we're trying to get to the truth because nobody can seem to do that. There's other people who have had more extensive conversation and been involved from this thing from the beginning who would be able to tell you more, and they're not sharing. That's the whole point of what's going on. This is not being shared. The story isn't being put anywhere. Okay? In that civil case, the nature of the case, right? We talked about that. We talked about the defendants, all right? What really set off and sparked with the housing situation and everything else on YouTube. I'm trying to be on YouTube too at the same time. I'm testing a new platform to stream multiple platforms at one time to get this out as big as possible. But I tried. What did you try? Okay. So we're getting there. I do apologize. Like I said, we're making the quickest, best progress we can make as fast as possible. So that got me that comment back to Kenworthy. In his defense against the case against Virgin County and the defendants that I named, Kenworthy is maintaining the defendants engaged in unlawful employment practices by subjecting him to discrimination on the basis of his sex, gender, together with sexual harassment, and that resulted in a hostile work environment because of those stressful conditions. He also insists that he has been dealing with these false allegations for the past 12 years. According to a letter that was written by Mr. Kenworthy to Mr. Blaine, a supposed friend who's been there from the beginning of this whole thing. It's my understanding, as has been presented to me, that Mr. Blaine does not want to be involved or decided to rescind his involvement because of the public image that he holds and potential retaliation. I think I saw a few more. I mean, I do have pictures of Mr. Blaine with the children and with Mr. Lee. Mr. Blaine did go to the funeral with Mr. Lee, or Mr. Kenworthy. There was, I think there might be some merit to his involvement. I'll leave that at that because I don't know, honestly, through and through. So I will tell you that where is the proof of the work abuse? 12 years shared. Okay. I don't know. I don't have the hard proof. I've got the court documents. I've got the signed court documents. There's been allegations of mafia connections. There's been allegations of crooked cops in New Jersey. There's been, I don't know if this is chase. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't think this is a conspiracy chasing thing. I think there has been things that have been done wrong and misappropriated. And we have a lot of comments coming in. Tired of hearing Jamie. We want the facts. I'm sorry, I got to put this out there. We got comments coming in from Michael James. Jamie has talked enough, crying, screaming, out of control, asking for money, and then deleted. Tired of hearing Jamie. We want facts. We want facts. I want facts too. I called a gentleman who works for DCF up in New Jersey. He was one of the original case managers for the report filed in regards to Mr. Kenworthy. I questioned the report number that deals with this, and he was hesitant to talk to me initially, and then he did go and say, yes, to check out the YouTube. You'll see a bunch of videos there. The YouTube channel was I Was an American, and it'll send you and show you everything I'm talking about. I'll probably play some audio from that as we get more and more into this show. And again, if you want to call in, please do. It's 386-682-7278. But back to what I'm saying with the DCF, I spoke to this gentleman, and he was hesitant to talk to me at first, and especially when I mentioned Mr. Kenworthy's name. And then I did get him to tell me that he had seen the case. Once he had confirmed that he had seen the case, I asked if he would tell me the person who was currently handling the case, and he said he was not able to tell me that. And I asked him, you are not an advocate case manager for these situations, are you not? And he confirmed that he was. And I proceeded to say, I do not think this is being held to the advocacy standard that you guys preach to the community. He put me on hold. I listened to a little elevator music, and then the supervisor came on. When I referenced the report number and the supervisor's last name, I'm not going to disclose that information right here, but when I referenced that, she got very close-lipped and same stance. Can't talk about it, can't tell you where, yada, yada, yada. So I know it's being witnessed. I know it's being watched. I know it's being tracked. I know it's being tracked by not just me, but some other people who are very good at what they do when it comes to this kind of stuff. And they, like me, are trying to get to the facts, okay? I want to know why ABC News turned down this story. I want to know why Tony, who was contacted in New York at ABC News 7, turned down this story. I want to know why they didn't look at this. And I've got confirmation from Stephanie Stewart now that, yes, David Blaine was a friend of the family. So, Stephanie, I got to ask you, why was he backing out? Because it's my understanding at this point in time that he was one who originally addressed the undressing of the children by the CPS agents. I think there was a younger one involved. I think that so do you know anything about him backing out? Do you know why? And while that goes, we'll keep talking. So there was a lot of discontention in the place they were living that was controlled by the housing authority. There was Robert and Bobby Martin often fought. The neighbors would often cause commotions and try and say, listen, if you don't stop waving your gun around, Martin, to Robert, that they're gonna go break him. They're gonna break him off one because they don't want to deal with that stuff. All this happened right in Castle Terrace in New Jersey. And, there's been previous things going on, and this is all Lyndhurst. And Lyndhurst is essentially, Mr. Kenworthy is blaming Lyndhurst, New Jersey for his wife's death that we talked about earlier. So there's a fear and a feeling of retaliation. I think, okay, now I'm going to take a second. I'm going to read some of these comments. I think one of the things that would help or be helpful if someone who has all the info would put a timeline of events and what's happened to make it less confusing. We are working on that right now. I have a ton of info coming in. I got the majority of it over the last 12 hours. I cannot I've got as much together as I could right now. I'm going to continue to push this out so that you guys can see it as it is and as it lies, okay? My sources and any source that I ever deal with will always remain anonymous. I believe in privacy, and I will protect your name and your information. And we have other comments coming in that says there are issues. Deanna, that would be wonderful. I've heard that once Shalane died, that's when David backed out. I don't know if he was her friend originally, and then once she was gone, he didn't want any more interaction due to all the law issues. That would be a very plausible reason that could be understanding. And Daisy is saying she had an asthma attack. Hey, thank you for joining, Angie. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, I talked about that. There's something else in here. That's good. That's good. Almost there. Okay. Now, this is something that is really kind of adding on there. How you doing, Steven? What's up, man? Thanks for joining, CJ. CJ's coming in. Jamie, what attorney called and who did he call? Names, and give facts. CJ, Jamie has sabotaged this case by working with Francesca Amato Banfield, and Samantha has gone directly against Mr. Kenworthy's wishes. Oh, we definitely need to expand upon this. I want to bring you an update, though. I was told that there's been a lifelong friend by the name of Sean who's been staying coincidentally in the same Barnabas Behavioral Center that Mr. Kenworthy has been put in. Now, it's also my understanding at this point that Mr. Kenworthy has been held on absolutely no evidential charge past 72 hours, which is well over the holding period that is allowable by law. And Sean, being someone who grew up with Mr. Kenworthy, he called and reached out because there's a patient phone number that I've actually tried to call. You don't get answers. If someone does pick up and you ask for the name, they'll let you talk to him. But when you call to talk to Mr. Lee Kenworthy, they will not let you speak with him. I don't know why that is specifically. I don't get it. I don't understand. So, excuse me, because I've tried to call this number. So Barnabas Behavioral Health Center is where Mr. Kenworthy's last known location was. Sean had called, and there was a new number. Fran had got through the same day. I think this was yesterday. Sean had called, and he said that Miss Johnson or Miss Brown needed to get there immediately because Mr. Kenworthy was not doing well. He was not doing well whatsoever. He said that there was unfair treatment involved. He said that he is still there. He has a geriatric psychiatrist, and they are diagnosing him with a medical condition. They're giving him medicine against his will, and they're doing it intravenously because he doesn't want to take the medicine. He's already there. Not wanting to be there, and he is being confined and basically isolated. Now, I have audio here, and I know I played it at the beginning of the show. Maybe I played it at the beginning of the show, maybe I didn't. But I have audio here with a reverend who called to try and get a hold. I have audio of them calling to get a hold of Mr. Lee and being denied and being told they had to be there at specific times of the day. So not really sure why that is and why that's working. Apologies, Dilly had to go check something out. He'll be back. Okay, we've got a lot of the comments coming in, and let's see what we're saying right here. It says, okay, it's, I'm going to go back up a little bit. That's why I believe he may agree to get help for properly grief his loss. Clearly, he was overly stressed and paranoid. How do we know he didn't just decide to stay to get himself some help? We don't, and maybe he did. I'm not sure. There are other people who have better relationships with him and a better understanding that feel that he is not doing as well as he or that people are hoping that he's doing. Maybe he did stay there, but I don't know why there would be reports, and I don't know. Like I said, I've tried to call. I've not been able to get in touch with anybody. It's been pretty challenging and difficult, but I will tell you that Mr. Lee's mom hasn't been answering, and he asked his friend to reach out to get people to be involved. Now, let that settle for a minute. Let that settle. What would make this gentleman feel paranoid? We all know because his wife died, he's blaming the police, but why is there a 12-year thing going on here? Like, what is the missing piece that no one is telling us? Tara, because he states over and over they kept him past the 72-hour hold against his will. Yes, you need to have a patient code to talk to him. You're right, there is a patient code. Even those who have direct access and the patient code and those assigned as his representative are being denied access to him. That's the truth. I can't tell you. I've heard it. I've heard the calls. I'm going to see if I can pull up some more stuff here so I can play it for you. Because there's so much here. Have any of you checked out the YouTube stuff? There were tons of people in their cell phones and cords. Okay. We're not talking about that. Come on. Okay, I have emails here for calling social workers, no answers. All right, there's probably 120 of them. Calling social worker, no answer. Footage of state workers after cops were called. The statement to David Blaine, here's the statement to David Blaine by Mr. Kenworthy, all right? And it says, David, as our friend through it all, you have been here on the phone with Shay as the assaults and false charges were being forced upon us with both physical harm at their hands and continued heightened threats upon our children. Shay called you for assistance in getting, Shay called you in assistance for getting attention, i.e. media, upon the jail immediately the day I was assaulted. Shay and you were on and off the phone all day that day, which she recorded and documented. Also, every officer along with a badge, position, and rank that she spoke to that day about the assault on her husband by a guard after cells were locked the night before and getting me medical attention which never occurred, once again, all recorded. Then my public defender, along with the division needing to confirm our relationship, demanding an office number for you, to which they called multiple times that year. Meanwhile, that year, we, Shailing, and I started negotiating with Curtis Jackson about a project movie deal to park it due to ongoing threats, assaults, and false charges from Jersey City and Virgin County Jail, all recorded. Okay. So I'm going to keep going here. Tell me what you think, guys, because I'm trying to keep up the comments and read through all this stuff. It's a little tough. The relevance of what you have witnessed and been a part of as a byproduct of your celebrity, it is your responsibility as both a father, a friend, and decent human being to honor Shaylin Kenworthy's work and legacy without fear from threats of jail charges or repercussions, and understanding that for 12 years my family has dealt with false charges, defamation of character, false imprisonment, and false sentences, police brutality, and corruption, reaching onto the benches, judges, and into politics to the degree that it finally took one of our lives, and your role and testimony along with the recordings so no one can forget what occurred is my first priority for my best friend. That's a whole lot. That's a lot. So if lawyers aren't offering help for Lee, why isn't the attorney's help being accepted? Yes, Lee is a veteran as far as I know. I had a question about that because I was under the impression that he was a veteran or potentially a veteran myself, but I haven't been able to confirm or deny that. But regardless if you're a veteran or not, I don't think the extent of this treatment was fair in any sense of the word. And the rights violations and everything that's been addressed here. Yes, there are. Okay, how many times were the kids taken? How many times were there open CPS cases and then it closed? I have more information on that. We're getting there. Like I told you, we got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. I kind of feel bad because I'm taking all the airtime here and can't hear any other opinions on this because we've been joined by Wildebeest and Dilly's still here, you know that. But I'm going to keep reading down this thing a little bit more just to kind of clarify and bring the relationship into perspective with David and Mr. Kenworthy, and then we'll move on from that point, okay? So we left off with, I hope that this resonates with you, David, and either you or your lawyer get in touch with me so we can discuss how to best navigate this. I also hope, David, that our friendship and your resolve through this is enough to truly honor Shailing's faith in those we trusted, such as yourself. Keep in mind, Dave, Curtis, and Kevin, I am pushing this all the way. Everything my family has been through, including my wife's murder, which has been sitting in front of everyone's faces all along, will be seen by the world for the miscarriages of justice and organized crime that it was and remains to be. With my wife's courage and continued bravery to fight for her family and rights that we all as citizens deserve against corruption, I will not honor her with cowardice when the truth is in our favor, and I ask that you all honor the woman who you shared a significant role in history with to set up. Yours truly, Lee Kenworthy, Sabella Kenworthy, Maya Kellen Kenworthy. So, that's one letter, and that was from Mr. Kenworthy to Mr. David Blaine and Curtis Jackson. There's another letter in here. Okay, let me address some of these comments now. What number is fake? I truly believe now that Shay and David were friends. Good. Okay. I will pray for them to support all the families and wish happiness to all. Daisy, the family, has been fighting with Lee for years. Do you know why they've been fighting? And do you have any idea why they've been fighting? Do you know what's been going on there? Yes. What?
It's not working.
The line's not working?
No.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll plug it into mine, and we'll keep it on going. I'll be off camera for 1 second. You can talk and whatever.
Yeah, this is Dilly. What's going on, guys? Yep, we have a little technical difficulty. We're getting ready to fix the stuff. So, yeah, keep the comments coming because everything is wow, holy cow! This is something that's pretty special going on right now. So, we'd like to definitely hear a caller and see what's going on, but it's Mr. Lee or Mr. Kinsworthy. He really has a lot of stuff going on that's it's way out there right now. So as we get the things going here.
Is that turned up? No. Okay, I got it. All right, guys, I'm coming back. Hey, you guys call this number, 386-400-2244. 386-400-2244. I'm going to put that in the comments now as we go, and I'll pick you up on this one. I don't know why the other one's not working. I'm going to play with it now it's an Android, so I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I don't really like Android. Apologies. Calling plus Wi-Fi. All right. Anyway, so new number, 386-400-2244. Once again, 386-400-2244. All right, we're going to switch these right back. All right, sorry about some of the technical stuff. Like I said, this is all new programming. This is all new stuff. We've been learning this whole thing as we go. So, we're just going to play it along. Now, I'm going to play some audio for you for this Russian YouTube thing. And that number again, 386-400-2244. 386-400. Oh, there we go. All right. Let me turn that on. Hello. Hello. Am I? There we go. I got you. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Who is calling? Thank you for calling Dick Liberty.
This is Kathleen.
This is who?
I'm watching you live right now. This is Beth.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Steph? Thank you for calling so much. I greatly appreciate it. What do you want to share with us?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I said, what do you want to share with us?
Tell her to turn down her.
Can you turn down your mic, your volume, please, a little bit? Alrighty. I think the echo from her volume being up was okay. Cause all right. So yes, keep calling in 386-400-2244. Not a big deal. We'll get it there. We're getting it. Thank you for calling in, Stephanie. I think your volume was too loud on whatever platform you were listening on. So before you call in, turn down all the volume around you so when you call, you don't get the feedback and everything else. I don't know. I put a new number out. 386. Okay. I got the notification here. There we go. Hello. Welcome to Dick Liberty.
Hi, yes, I'm sorry. I turned down my volume.
Oh, there we go. That's much better. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, all right. Lines are open. I'm sorry there was another hiccup, but Stephanie, thank you so much for calling. What do you want to share with us tonight? What do you want to tell us about what's going on?
Well, it's not really sharing. I just have a question.
Okay.
And kind of, I guess, sharing too because I'm a little concerned.
Okay.
I watched one of Lee's videos on his personal Facebook account of him saying that, he tested it, high intelligence into like military or whatever.
Right.
And if that was the case, was he really in the military? And if he was he discharged honorably? Did he leave AWOL? Like, what went on with that? And if he was discharged honorably, like he even stated in the video he lost his teeth for them or he gave his teeth up. I don't know. Well, my thing is, why isn't the VA helping this veteran that, help our country?
That is a great question. And, myself being a veteran and Dilly being a veteran, you could turn yours, I'll turn, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I agree with you 100% on the VA situation. As you know, the VA they have a lot. There's a lot of us vets that are in there, and it takes a long time for some certain situations. So he may be backed up in whatever situation it may be. Unfortunately, because like myself and everybody else, the VA is a little slow sometimes. So, but that is, in my eyes, it really is no excuse to me. So, and that's why some of the things.
No, it's not. But especially when it comes to a wife dying, I mean, she was young. Yeah, she has asthma. I'm the same age. Well, I'm 39. I have asthma. God forbid, I don't want to drop dead one day from an asthma attack.
No.
That's pretty scary. This stuff needs to be looked into. Like, what was going on? Seriously.
It does need to be looked into. You're absolutely
really bad.
right.
I'm a mom too. I have 4 kids. I have 5 kids. One in heaven, 4 living. I don't know what I have to do. You know what I mean? People are calling this being crazy. But if somebody was trying to come at my kids and trying to take them, I'd go nuts too. I'd be crazier than him.
Yeah, understandable.
That's a very valid point, and I would too. And I think the fact that, sometimes when things are too true and too real, it's easy to look the other way for the majority of people because it's easy for a lot of people to sit and coach from the chair, but it's really hard for people to do things like Mr. Kenworthy was doing to clear his name from slander and from the judge and everything else.
There's too many people that are scared, and there's too many people that are scared, and there's too many people that don't want to pull the wool from over their own eyes, and they know the truth is right in front of their face.
Right.
And that's all really I'm going to say about that, because,
Okay. Well, hey, Stephanie, I want to say thank you so much for calling in. I'm going to let you go. And I will, like I said, we are hunting down this information, and we've been hunting down this information extensively, and we're trying to get all of it pieced together because you are absolutely right. It needs to be put out. It needs to be talked about because it's not happening just in New Jersey.
It's happening. Not just his family. It goes on with a lot of families.
It does. So thank you so much for your support.
And I want to say thank you for your service and, for honoring our country. I want to say thank you, and thank you for everything you're doing?
Hey, we're just bringing the news. That's all we're doing. And we just want to bring the real good stuff. And thank you for your compliments. It's greatly appreciated. And you have a great night, okay, Steph?
No problem. You also. Thank you.
All right. All right, so we've obviously got the phone situation fixed. I want to say thank you to Junior and to Chris Meadows and to all these guys joining us back in, and Alice and getting up. You're right. The CPR doesn't fix an asthma attack. I think somebody under that amount of stress is only doing or potentially doing what they think is appropriate at the particular time that it's going on. Now, I definitely want to get to the bottom if he is been in the military. Does he have any military experience? Was he discharged from the military? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, that is a great situation there, Dick. That we definitely need to look into that, because that would speak volumes on why this man may or may not have gotten help.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
This could or could not help the situation for him.
Right.
I mean, if he's been getting the help, then I hope that he has been getting the help from the VA. But it like you said, this wow. I mean.
Oh wow. Okay, I just got I'm getting comments in now. I do believe that there's so many other things that the kids can see on Facebook that are bad, so it doesn't mean kids shouldn't have it. Okay. If I was David Blaine, I'd be staying away from this drama too. David Blaine, Samantha Brown replies, thank you for joining us, Samantha. Samantha Brown replies, David Blaine is a witness of 8+ years of what Shay and the Lee family went through. Essentially, he has seen what they've been going through for 8 years, according to Ms. Brown. David Blaine has been accused of rape by several women. This is new to me, and he is not a credible person. Thank you, Lori. Thanks for that sharing. Sam was David's friend. Sam was David's friends of Shay's. Okay, now it's making sense. Celebrities know what's going on. Sam, why didn't you call in? Hey, listen, lines are open, guys. 386-400-2244. Give me a call. Let's get it out. Let's talk about it. I know Jamie wanted to call in. I know other people wanted to call in. So if you want to call in now, it'd be a perfect time.
Yeah, please call in. Let's
I want to hear the opposing viewpoints here, and I want to hear the laws and civil rights and everything else. Hi, welcome to Dick Liberty. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to Dick Liberty. Thanks for calling.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hard to hear you.
Well, yeah, our mic's down a little bit lower. I'm gonna have to talk a little louder. We just got to deal with that so there's not too much echo for everybody's listening. Who's calling?
Jamie and Sam.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Sam. I'm glad you joined us. So, since I'm sure you've been watching the chatter comment and the comments flowing through on this live feed and everything else, I'm sure you've been following. I thank you, Samantha, for putting your comments on there. What do you guys think at this point, and what can you tell us from where you're at and what you've seen and what your experience? Let's keep it concise and to the point, and just I know the emotion piece might be a little challenging to refrain from exceeding yourself, if you can, though.
I'm not watching the feed right now.
Okay. All right. So.
Well, obviously, this man's rights were violated from the very beginning.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the beginning, because you know that I've only come onto this about 12 hours ago. Like 14 hours ago. So can you explain for the viewers and the listeners, because we're not only on Facebook Live and the YouTube, we're also on a global radio show right now. So if you can explain a little better some of the past history from what you understand and know, that would be amazing. You want to take a minute to do that, please?
With Sam.
Yes, with Sam, with everybody.
So, hey guys. So Lee's wife was murdered in August 17, 2016 in Lynchburg, New Jersey. They were living in a cop's home. He's actually ex-deputy.
And what brought them to live in to the policeman's home?
They were, all right, so he was living at the housing authority. working at the house for the state and the housing authority, and he was sexually assaulted there. That is the lawsuit where he's suing the housing authority, and they he got fired from that, and they were leaving there, and so there was an open division case. And they ended up finding this place to live with a old friend of Lee's, and they ended up moving in, and as soon as they were saying that they were going to move in and sign the lease, the division case closed. So while they were there, the carpets were covered in urine and feces. Those are the pictures that are on the iwasamerican.com webpage.
Yes, I saw those.
And Shay has asthma, so it just affected her even more, and they were living there for, I believe, 5 months.
They were there for 5 months before?
Sorry?
They were there for how long, you said?
I believe 5 months. Living from March to about July, and there was constant negotiations about stopping their lease and then moving out.
Why did they threaten to stop the lease?
Sorry?
Why did they threaten to stop the lease?
Why did what?
What do you know why they threatened to stop the lease? Why housing authority was threatening to stop the lease?
Me and Jay wanted to move out because it was in disgusting conditions, and they continued to threaten that if they were to move out, that there would be problems. They were paying $2,200 a month.
Okay.
So when they had already left and they came back to get more things, the kids were with her parents, and they were moving everything, and Shay was having problems breathing. They already had cops out there already before that were kind of like looking at the situation, and they were also calling because they kept getting harassed by the upstairs neighbor. And so basically Shay was having an asthma attack. They called 911. 911 sent cops and EMT, but only cops come to the door. The EMT did not come inside. Shay collapsed, and as Lee was giving her CPR, the cops pulled her away from him and told him that, put their hands on their guns, and told him that if he touched her again, he would not be going out alive.
Okay.
And
So can I ask you something, Samantha? What is your relationship, and how did your involvement extend so deeply into this situation?
Well, I started working for them back in February of 2014. I was Lee's grandmother's caretaker.
Okay.
The home that the life occurred in, and where the standoff was that home, his grandmother's home.
And that's the home, I'm to understand, that he inherited after she passed away?
Yeah, she passed away in January 2016, and that's when I left their family, and I went back to California, and then I lost contact with them. Lee got in touch with me saying that Shay was killed by cops, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I got in touch with him and ended up coming back and helping him with the kids and everything. So like I've been a nanny, personal assistant to this family for over 4 years, and
I have to ask you this question. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just being fair, unbiased, and real in my questioning. Was there any point, or has anything ever stemmed from any use, misuse, and/or dealing with narcotics, and anything more than that? Because I did find a story that was written by an independent group that actually titled it the meth machine.
Story. We're not taking any drugs. We're not doing any drugs. Lee hasn't done any drugs. I'm with him 24/7, so I see everything he does. And we've been actually traveling a lot lately, so no, there's definitely no drugs. And that's the thing that blows my mind, is that the complaint from his, I don't know if it exactly came from his sister, but that is the belief, and what the cops told us and what the state workers told us was that it was a family member, was that we had no food, no money, and we were doing drugs.
So
Okay.
it's just like, you're coming into our home.
Right.
and
They moved.
They didn't do
Okay.
any search. They didn't
So,
take pictures of the refrigerator.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a couple things? I got to ask you a couple of these questions because they're coming in, and I want to make sure that since I had the opportunity, and thank you for the opportunity to actually talk to you. You know, what do you say to those who are questioning why you went, or it is perceived that you went directly against Lee's wishes when you involved Francesca Banfield? Like, tell me your relationship with Ms. Banfield.
Lee had no specific wishes as to what was going to occur after this. He never told me not to contact a certain person. He's wanting this on the news, and all of the help that Francesca has given, he is not going to be against that in any way. And all this, that's what I don't understand with all these rumors and all these distractions. We're not getting to the point of fighting to get him out and to get these kids out. We're
Right.
all arguing about who's representing
And where are the children now? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
Sorry?
Do you know where the children are now?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't
Did
care where their
CPS or
grandmother-
the Department of Children's and Families take them and they're holding them now? Is that my understanding, or is they had their grandmothers? Like, do we know where they went?
They should be at their grandmother's. They were supposed to be taking them to their grandmother. I talked to Thea the night she got there and then the morning after, but I haven't talked to them since, and his mother will not answer my calls.
Okay. All right. So the mother's not answering the calls. It's something I addressed a little earlier. I have questions coming in about the why you were given Narcos and the grandma. I guess there's some involvement with Narcos between you and the grandma or Narcon.
No, Narcon, Shay was given Narcon,
Okay.
which is something that
That's supposed to help your asthma. Okay. Why did she? Yeah, I did that one. Okay. What about how did Jamie get involved in this? Did you reach out to Jamie, or did like how did the whole relationship develop and the activism come across, and why did she come across the state lines? Like, what led to that development in this story at this point? Because I think it would better help the listeners understand and those watching understand like what you've been doing and where you're going, because I've got I know some of the ones who've been following this case from the beginning and everything like that know that Jamie got arrested for the live feed thing. She posted it on her Facebook. I think that was Title IX, the Children, Juvenile, and Domestic Relations Code, Section 9, colon 6-8.10b, permitting or encouraging release of record of report as a penalty. Do you know what that was about?
Well, yeah, I was there.
Well, I know, but can you explain it so it kind of clears up some of the confusion? Wow, man, these comments are getting insane.
Yeah, they are.
Oh no, I don't know if we lost them or what.
Those comments are
This is getting very, very crazy.
It's definitely.
Wow, holy cat, man, holy cat.
I haven't seen you sweat this much in a while, man.
I know it's been hot up here under the lights. I'm like, hey, Hannity, man, I hats off to you, Holmes, but you got AC and we don't. Yeah, this is Narcon is for overdose. I agree with CJ. That's opioid odes. Asthma. I hope we didn't lose them. I hope that this is still. I hope they call back in, or I hope that some of the other commenters.
Here's a comment that says Narcon is for people who do drugs. So that's.
Narcon.
Yeah. Here, let me turn you on, man.
I'm about to do some Googling here and see what Narcon is.
There you go. You can talk to that.
Narcon is the drug that the paramedics carry with them. So if somebody is overdosing, they administer the Narcon.
Right. That's the adrenaline shot that brings them back too.
Out of the overdose.
Especially with the opioids and the heroines and that stuff, right?
It's a big controversy now because people want to know who's paying for the Narcon for all these overdose victims. So
Yes.
it's been in the news lately.
All right, we got another line. We got another call coming in. Hello. Thank you for calling Dick Liberty.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Lexi. I'm calling in because I just heard Jamie and Sam on the phone,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to know why that Shay was given Narcan and why it was assumed that it was for asthma, because that is for an overdose, an opioid overdose.
Yeah, we actually just discussed that. It is for an opioid overdose. It is not for asthma. And there's...
it's known it's asthma, yeah.
Yes. I don't know. We're gonna get out. We're gonna find out, and we're gonna let all this information come out as we find out. I promise you, we're not gonna hold anything back. All right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everyone called that, because I was trying to get the comment out, but it's hard for everyone to read it, so I wanted to make sure, because I've been following this since Memorial Day, and I've been rooting for them. I'm hoping that this is true, because there is too much corruption in this country as a whole.
You know what? Give me a call tomorrow. We'll talk more in depth, and maybe we can line some stuff up. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And for the call I just missed, you have a great night. For the call I just missed, you can call back now. The line's back open. Apologies for that.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely correct. The Narcan is for opioid overdose, just like Wilkie said.
They're definitely coming in, and like you said, man, we holy cow! You said this was going to be epic tonight, and so far, this is wow.
I mean, we have comments talking about they're playing games, all this other stuff. Let me see. Maybe I can just call them back or send them a text. I don't know how this works. Yeah, let me do that. All right, so let me see if I can call them back. Or if they want to call back in, that'd be great. Lines are still open, guys. Oh, it looks like this. Here it comes. Hello, thank you for calling Dick Liberty.
Good evening, Mr. Stark. It is CJ Abernathy.
Oh, Mr. CJ Abernathy. Wow, man. I cannot believe you have joined us tonight. Welcome to the show. What do you think so far?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Samantha Brown, you need to stop lying. Straight up, first and foremost, Lee Kenworthy reached out to me.
Okay.
And I sat there and I had the conversation with you, and I had a conversation with Lee. I know that he went on a live broadcast with a lady down in Australia where he directly calls Francisca Amato Banfield a fraud, and that he doesn't want her involved.
I actually saw that live broadcast, by the way.
You're sitting there and you're on live video making a mockery out of his case. Jamie, you should be ashamed of yourself. The quote of the century, Mr. Liberty, is going to be, Lee's wife's ashes are in my vehicle. By the way, I have PayPal. Congratulations. You guys are frauds. You guys are fake advocates, and you sabotaged Lee's case. And if I was Lee Kenworthy, I would be extremely pissed off at the three of you ladies by the time this is done. Any other questions, Mr. Liberty?
No, I think you were very...
I don't need to be a dick.
No, hey, apparently that's what we're all about, because my show is called Dick Liberty. You get it? This ain't being a dick. This is being real. We're talking about real issues. We're trying to get to the real truths of this issue, because you know, as well as I do, that this issue extends way beyond New Jersey, way beyond Indiana, way beyond Florida, way beyond South Dakota. This is an issue that's prevalent everywhere. So it needs to be addressed. And if there are things going on, and me as an independent press agent is having difficulty getting answers, and other agencies, national media doesn't want to talk, we need to make them talk. That's the bottom line, man. So you can be a big a dick as you want on my show. I don't really give a rat's ass, as long as we get something done.
Well, I'll always give respect where respect is due, and I'll always be a dick when somebody's being a fraud. And what's going on right now, Mr. Stark, is the absolute definition of case sabotage. We've been trying to have a dictionary definition of what case sabotage is, because so many people are unaware of these fraud advocacy groups that go out there. They write books, publish stories, go in and contact every known family member, sit there and then extort you and your story, all for their own publicity. And everybody that's been tracking this case knows exactly who Francesca Amato Banfield is, and everybody knows there's no secret. I've been calling her a fraud for months. And at the end of the day, we do, Mr. Liberty, need to hear directly from Mr. Kenworthy, so that way he can be brought into awareness of the actions of these three women.
I've been trying to get a hold of him consistently with the information, because I've had a lot of information provided to me by many sources, not just two sources, multiple sources from multiple states, And you can understand their reason for wanting to stay anonymous. I've been trying extensively to get a hold of Mr. Kenworthy because, like you, I know there is more to this story. I know there is a lot more to this story. I saw the Russian YouTube thing today. I was like, wow, this is, there is a lot of validity to what is being said by Mr. Kenworthy. And there is also some skepticism that I have in the whole situation. But I happen to agree that I cannot say that I cannot say he's intelligent. I can't say anything about him. I've never met the man. What I have been able to gather from what I've seen and from looking at everything that I've been exposed to at this point, that he is actually a pretty intelligent guy. He's a pretty smart dude.
In all honesty, Mr. Stark, Mr. Kenworthy predicted all of this the night before this all took place. That he predicted that the state was going to retaliate in a way, and he was fearful of this very scenario right now. And so, again, the fact that he reached out to me, the fact that he knows that I'm all about keeping somebody's narrative correct when they come onto my platform, no differently than you would for your own integrity. You allow them to speak their story, you allow them to speak their peace of mind, and then when you start seeing people sabotaging them and going directly against their wishes, like Samantha and Jamie and Francesca have done, and involve themselves by, there are many, many people that are following this. I repeat that over and over again, and the fact is that we have been looking for the one straw to break the camel back to sit here and says we're going to figure out exactly how these CPS organizations infiltrate, and I believe they infiltrate through fraud agencies. I cannot believe that these women spent the time they did instead of actually listening to the people that are actually educated, that actually know what this organization does from top to bottom, and on top of that knows the chains of command in order to redress grievances and bring the proper people into action. And when I reach out to my people that end up going in and doing what they do and finding this information, it does not help that every hour on the hour they're going live asking for money. Now, the fact that Jamie sat there and as soon as she gets arrested, turns this into about her. She's on live broadcast saying, I need a phone, I need $200, I need an attorney. Well, I'm sorry, but again, this is your advocacy. You claim you're running for governor of a state. But you know who's actually running for governor of state? CJ Abernathy. And you know who would have never done what you did? Yeah, I may have yelled at law enforcement live on a broadcast that I didn't even know I was live on. But at the end of the day, they didn't have a warrant. At the end of the day, law enforcement officers that enter homes without warrant are indeed violating the Fourth Amendment. And every single one of them should have known it. At least one of them should have stood up and said something. But they didn't. And that's why I got pissed off. And you can understand that when one night I'm calling and I'm talking to his family and I see his kids laughing and I see that they're just having a nice time being together, and then the next time I call in, the freaking police at the home with no warrant. You can see where my anger or my disgust with passion comes from when I tell you that these law enforcement officers are retaliating, that CPS was being used as a weapon on an allegation that they couldn't prove.
No, and you have every right to be angry and to be pissed, especially...
Well, I'm not angry, I'm disgusted, Mr. Liberty. And again, my point being that the Manchester police also stated that there was no taser that was drawn, and the fact still remains that we have documented evidence of the taser being directly pointed at Mr. Kenworthy. So now the law enforcement officers are lying.
I've seen that video, as a matter of fact. Yes, you are correct. There is a lot of corruption. And I hope that the New Jersey Attorney General gets involved, and I hope that the national organization that advocates for these things.
And I'll leave it on this. Tonight, Mr. Stark. And again, if you do bring Jamie on, I would appreciate, or Samantha, I'd appreciate you to ask why he went directly against their wishes, and if they tried to say that they didn't, you point out the fact that why was he on a live broadcast with a lady in Australia saying Francesca Model Banfield, the woman that's sitting there with his wife's ashes, is sitting there the next day taking Charlie's Angels pictures out like a bunch of idiots on social media.
Yeah,
I'm not sorry if that hurts your feelings, but if it was me sitting in a mental institution, hospitalized against my will, and then I find out what this is, that's a little ridiculous. And the last thing I'm going to leave with is that the Attorney General of New Jersey is watching this, and Attorney General of New York as well as Attorney General of Indiana, I would severely and empirically implore you to do an investigation on the organization known as Punished for Protecting and who they are actually being financed by and why they are getting involved in this high-profile case directly against the petitioner, who is indeed saying that they are fraud.
Yes, I agree with you, and I'll join that call to action. So, Attorney General of New Jersey, be in touch. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you.
All right, well, Mr. Liberty, I appreciate you bringing me on tonight, and as always, it's a pleasure. I'm going to go back to being an audience member, and I pray for Lee and his children, and I hope that this issue gets resolved soon.
Thank you very much for joining us, CJ. You have a great night, man.
Thanks for joining us, CJ.
You too.
Always love listening to you, man.
Have a good night.
Good night. All right, for the call I missed, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut off Mr. CJ right then and there. The line is back open. Please call back in. We have got this hot topic. There's comments coming in because we are all right, so we're getting some answers from Megan Chris Whistler, and Megan Miller asking questions. How did Jamie expect to get custody? Like, I'm trying to read all these questions too, and they're coming in so fast that I literally need a staff of people to read this. It's insane.
I'm sitting right next to you trying to read this, and it's coming in so fast. I can't read it with you, man.
This is crazy. So we have questions going out for Jamie Johnson and Samantha Brown. There seems to be a question of violation. I know that Ms. Brown stated that she does not believe she violated Mr. Kenworthy's wishes in any way, and I guess we're calling him back. Cool. Thank you. That's Maverick and Goose right there, buddy. So I saw the live video. I did. I guess no. Okay.
Yep.
I saw the live video, and he did express, Mr. Lee Kenworthy did express that he did not want this brought about the way it has been brought about. Some people, of course, are going to disagree and say that that's not what is said, but is what is specifically said. Now, Nikki Chris Weisler is talking about how she's working on a grant, and like there's a lot of going back and forth. I'm not going to get caught up in that. I want to stay focused on the narrative of Mr. Kenworthy. There is so much more coming out of this than we expected. You just heard it from an actual governor candidate that Mr. Kenworthy, his rights have been violated. Nothing's been handled to his wishes. That this has been an ongoing issue. Mr. Kenworthy reached out to Mr. Abernathy, asked him for his assistance, shared these videos with him privately to back up his case, and stated that Jamie is saying Lee just called. Jamie, did Lee just call? If he just called, please make a comment and let me know. Samantha, if you're still listening and Lee just called, please call in and tell us what's going on. I want to make sure that this is really happening right now. We need to know where he's at. We need to go call again. Call me in again. I didn't answer because someone else was on the phone at the time. The phone is open now. Nobody else called. Jamie, I want you to call me back in. Tell me you talked to Lee. Tell me what's going on.
Lee called her.
Lee called you? I want to know. All the listeners want to know. I know they do. All these families that have helped by a nonprofit should be mandatory to show proof. Sleeping with the, I'm not bringing that up. That's trolling. Don't do that. If you have something legitimate and you have proof of it, send it to me and we'll follow it. Jeez, I don't know, guys. Do you guys want to chime in, man? At all? Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I need to catch my breath for a second.
Yeah, you do. Holy cow!
I need to catch my breath for a second. I need to process this. I need to figure out what's going on because so much stuff is happening. Please chime in, Dilly. What do you think of all this? Because I know you haven't been on the show for 2 freaking weeks. You've been doing all this stuff. You haven't been feeling good. You finally feel good. You finally get back and bam, hit you with a shit brick in the face.
Wow, this is definitely a brick to the face coming back to being 2 weeks off and bam. This is actually. I love it.
You love it. You love it.
I love it. This is what this is what we joined to do the radio show for, is to find certain things and figure out what everybody wants and and figure out certain situations, and that's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, whatever it is, who cares? Let's get to the bottom of the situation and let's do it.
Yeah, I agree, man. We got to do it. We have to, because if we don't, who is? And how much more of this, like, just the other, there's so much of it involving like right here in Florida, they just busted a child pornography ring. And the shady Gareth Grady was, all right, we got another call coming in. Hello, thank you for calling Dick Liberty. Who's calling?
Christopher Marks.
Mr. Marks, how are you? I'm going to have to tell you. Go ahead, please.
Say again?
Go ahead, please. Someone else just called in, but we're going to comment to her to hold on, call back in a few. But because I don't want to lose you on the show. Please, go ahead, Mr. Marks. Thank you for calling. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you join us again. I know you've been busy with a lot of stuff you've been working on, so please, give us your 2 cents on what you think is going on here.
My concern isn't so much about the backstory as it is what I witnessed in the numerous live feeds of Mr. Kenworthy and Samantha Brown being held in that house for what appeared to be close to 5 to 6 hours.
Uh-huh.
As a parental rights activist and advocate myself, I've known and actually sat on some people's porches when law enforcement showed up with, the state version of DCS or DCS or whatever else that suit they chose.
Okay. Just so you know, just so you know, Mr. Marks, you got 3 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Someone else is coming in.
Sure thing. So I've seen GPS show up on people's doors, and generally they come with maybe 2 backup or just a officer assist. They never show up with what appeared to be over 15 law enforcement officers carrying fully automatic assault rifles. I've never experienced that, especially not for when there's a visual evidence of the children coming through the window, so that DPS out there in New Jersey could visually see that the children were not in danger, saying that the presence of law enforcement carrying an assault rifle just escalated the situation. That's a cut example of domestic terrorism in my personal opinion, and the mere fact that Mr. Kenworthy was doing court the next day for in regard to the situation, the previous situation that had been going on, is just a clear example of not only retaliation by the state of New Jersey, but it's also legal malpractice.
Right. Okay. And you're referring to how they're holding him. They've been holding him over 72 hours. They got nothing on him. It's against his will, and they're currently giving him medication.
Yeah, and enforcing medication upon the man against his will, just to medically incapacitate him.
Yes.
As this hospital is criminally confining him. Quite frankly, there's no court order to actually detain him.
Right.
That anybody has ever been able to present or prove. There's no court action against the man. This is a clear-cut example of just the number of different types of retaliatory action that the state governments take upon people that are not willing to stand by as they abuse the constituents. And this is, in my personal opinion, this is something that the U.S. Attorney General, should be getting involved in.
Okay.
Due to these civil rights actions. So when I go through the escalation process, I'm going to take it to the New Jersey Attorney General next. Then I'm also going to be reaching out to the New Jersey Governor's office. Thank you very much for the work that you're doing and actually bringing awareness to these things. If I can get the information, I will be presenting this to the New Jersey Governor's Office,
Okay.
the New Jersey
Awesome.
Attorney General's Office, as well as reaching out to the ACLU out there and speaking and trying to get in contact with the U.S. Attorney General's Office for the Civil
Awesome.
Rights Division.
Well, hey, Mr. Marks, I want to say thank you so much for calling in. I want to thank you so much for updating us on that and showing us the action that you're taking us and tell us about it, because I've actually seen evidence of your action. And I think if you could leave a comment and give some advice to those who want to do this too, that better help them, that'd be great. But I got to let you go. We got another call coming in. Thanks again, man. You have a great night. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye. Hi, welcome to Dick Liberty. Sorry for the long wait.
Hi,
Hi, who was calling?
Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. What did you want to address tonight, Debbie?
What I wanted to say,
Yes, ma'am.
I was going to comment about how I watched the whole thing during the standoff, and we have Jamie on the phone asking her to come there, and other people are saying that was never said, that they didn't order help. I just don't understand that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I have to go back and look at that entire footage because, like everybody else who is just now becoming aware of this story and has become aware of it over the last evening and a half that we put it out, there's going to be a lot of unanswered questions right now at this particular time. We are going to review this stuff. We are going to get the facts, and we are going to put it out. I just didn't want to let this sit any longer, given the current status of Mr. Lee and the fact that he's being held against his will and being essentially seduced with medicine. And when you have someone, Mr. Marks...
And, they can only hold somebody for 72 hours, why are they holding them over 72 hours?
And I don't know.
Medicine,
but we will get you the answers. All right?
Okay.
Well, do you have anything else before I let you go?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bye. All right, guys, lines are back open. And, the one thing I wanted to say, going back to Mr. Abernathy, he essentially said that Mr. Kenworthy predicted this the night before it happened. We got more comments coming in. Wow, there's a lot going on and a lot of bantering between certain individuals in the chat room. Let's try and keep it on focus, guys. Okay. I know some of you think it's funny, but the critical narrative and the issues that we're talking about and the principles of the issues that we're talking about are not funny. All right, I'm going to try and play the sound from this Russian video. Let's see if we can hear it. It'll be coming up here in just a second.
My name is Lee Kenworthy.
I hope all you guys can hear that.
They murdered my wife in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. Straight up, Lyndhurst, New Jersey police murdered my wife. Google "I was an American," you will see ABC not reporting the news. You will see the evidence right online.
So you get out of there.
As long as the division is here, get them gone. Get them totally gone. And you guys
It says inside the home, these two children and the nanny sitting at the ground.
get them totally fucking gone.
Sitting at the streets, and Mr. Kenworthy talking
They don't have an order for removal. You guys will keep that story.
CPS be taken away, done away. They're doing it live on Facebook.
Exactly. So what are they still doing? I don't want, and I'm telling you, I don't want legal rights.
This is something we've been working on for a long time. So there's people showing all the videos of the cops in the house. They're raiding the cops off. They're showing the place against workers, talking about child protective services and how they enter the home.
Please get out, please. It's boring. I swear to God, I'm trying.
Yes, and dealing with the situation. And, during the live feed, it got the attention of self-proclaimed advocate Sher Michelle, who drove over to do a live feed of her own. All right, so that's the update on the Russian piece.
Well, I just want you to know that we're here for your family, and we're going to stay in touch. So be in touch with us, and we're going to be in touch with you. And you're going to need advocates
what's
because
going on,
as nice as they might have been.
Well, the sad thing is the past couple of weeks is we've been acting as advocates.
It also says on
as
this
consultants for people
Root2,
that are also
and
dealing with this.
that web address is https rutube.ru.ru/video, and then
I'm just the
it's really
nanny.
long term, so I'll save this link and I'll get it published in the comments as we go right here.
I just heard you, and they won't let us. We're here, guys. We're going to get in. They're trying to keep us out, but we're getting
There
out.
you go. No, I'm going to stop that from playing. That's part of the Russian audio you're hearing in the background. I hope you got all of it. So, let's see. We got, so there's a lot of questions going on about the legitimate, Mrs. Johnson being legitimate. And there's concern about Mrs. Brown's credibility being destroyed after associating with Miss Johnson. Wow, I don't know. This says that Jamie was live with Lee 100% during the standoff. Was that Jamie that was live, or was CJ Abernathy live with them? Do you know? I really don't at this moment in time. I'm trying not to confuse
I think that
too
was
much.
Jamie.
Was it Jamie?
I could be wrong, but I think that was Jamie that was actually live.
Okay. Because there's been a lot going on with this. As you already know, I know. Oh, we got another phone call coming in. Can you answer that, please? Hi, welcome to Dick Liberty. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Dick, it's Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, how are you? Thank you. Welcome back.
Sorry about that.
So you got a little update? Did you get an update?
What?
Did you get an update? Because someone commented and said Lee called you, or was that just during the standoff?
He's been moved, but they let him use the phone. But
Oh, okay. Do you know where you got moved
he
to?
moved to a long-term facility at this point.
A long-term facility.
No, I know.
Did they give you the name of that facility?
I'm sorry.
Did they give you the name of that facility?
It was in the last conversation that they gave us at that Barnabas. Unfortunately, I don't. Everything's been pretty crazy. I think you have it.
Oh, okay.
It was only the last audio that we gave you that I don't remember exactly the road.
Yeah, I remember he was at Barnabas, but I didn't know. You said he was being moved, so I'm wondering if he's being moved from Barnabas Behavioral Center, which it's my understanding that that's a short-term facility. I would also assume that he's being moved under the direction of the doctors and not under his own direction and/or the direction of whoever's assigned to him for responsibility. So I want to know where he's being moved and why they decided to move him to long-term care. Was that a decision that he made? Was that a decision directed by the doctors? Like, what's really going on in there? Did he get a chance to tell you that? What can you bring us up to speed on?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, we talked to he didn't know. We haven't gotten any information on him, but when we talked to the hospital before they moved him, they told us 30 minutes he was being moved. And told us, I asked them specifically why he was being moved. They said that they felt he was a risk to themselves. At this point, I asked why. They would not give us that information. They simply just said that the decision was made by the doctor.
Okay.
I asked who was in charge of his affairs.
Right.
Who would have made that decision. There was no judge.
Who is in charge of his affairs? Currently, right now, as you understand it. Who is in charge of his affairs, as you understand it right now at this point?
No one besides Lee, evidently, but at the point right now, the one making the decision is the doctor.
Right.
He is the one holding him. I told them to release him immediately. Because in reality, they told him longer than 72 hours, and they stated no. that they would not be doing that, that it was up to them, they could hold him. They could make that decision.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad that we know he's getting moved, and that's somewhat medically directed, and that's what I'm putting together based off of the conversations that I've heard between Ms. Brown and the nurse and care providers at Barnabas over the last day. So, and I can attest that the patient nurse there did say that it would require the decision if both doctors felt that he needed to be put into long-term care, that he would be put into long-term care, that it would not actually be up to Mr. Kenworthy. Now, I have to address a couple of comments that are coming in, Jamie, because there's a lot of stuff. People are wanting to know if you guys are certified ADA advocates, and like, do you have the paperwork to prove everything? Because there's a lot of people questioning the involvement with you guys right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not me in particular, but I am voicing the expressed opinions and perspective.
I was never meant to keep custody of the kids for a long period of time, and they want to know that. I was there for an advocate, and the whole point of me going to the courtroom was honestly to be there. If I was going to take any kind of help for the kids, I would have normally just been there for a 72-hour hold.
Okay.
You know, I really didn't intend to take the kids to Indiana if it was a desperate situation. 72-hour hold, I intended to be here for a few days, stay in the house, just watch and be a supervised person over the kids there with them, and then move along my way and go home. When things went bad, then obviously I went with Sam to try to get me voice heard that we're not going to let him out of that mental institute to stand for his trial. When we went in the night before, we were told by the clerk that this man was a fair judge, that more likely they would get him on the telephone. That's all we were trying to do, was get the kids, you know, and really voice heard in there.
Right.
He had a right to be in that hearing.
What is Lee's perspective on the children being with grandmother?
He wants his children. They shouldn't be with anybody but himself.
No, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But given light of the current circumstances, like, was there no plan for this? And we're still having
No.
okay. Now the question keeps coming up.
They were supposed to stay at home with Sam.
Right. The question keeps coming up.
That was what the police said. That was, you know, Mr. Kenworthy opened the door under duress. A lot of people are like, oh, he opened the door and invited him in. No, he opened the door under duress and pressure.
Okay.
He didn't open that really willingly. And a lot of people had that happen. I mean, I have 2 cases in Indiana with the same thing. You're threatened. I have parents that are threatened with, you're going to go to jail. I have parents that are threatened, we're going to take your kids. You know, I have one case right now that's exactly what they've done. The police come out that said, we're going to either take your children, or you're going to let the kids in your house. She asked specifically for a form that I want to sign, that I'm doing this under duress, which means I'm letting you in, but I don't have the pressure me to do so. That's exactly what happened to him.
All right,
and then
when
they say, we're just going to take you outside to talk to you, but your kids are going to stay here. They promised those children. You're staying here. They lied to those children's faces, and you wonder why those kids are scared of police.
I understand that, and I keep getting like the overwhelming question if you guys are certified. Lee had Sam call his mom while CPS was there. Yes, I remember that part. Are you guys certified?
I am a nonprofit group. Yes, I have NDIM. I have a nonprofit status. I have been trained in several things. I am in the process of getting an ADA myself. You can ask the other people for themselves, but what does that have to do with me being an advocate?
Well, I think some of the concerns here is that, you know, because you're not yet ADA certified, if you're in the process of being certified, then that's why you're having difficulties, and it's causing some difficulties for other people. This is what's being told to me. That
For what
is,
reason? That doesn't have anything to do with being an advocate. ADA is a. Did anybody watch that? Look her up. Tell me what ADA is, people. Because everybody has the answer to it. Everybody wants to look it up.
right.
That's what kills me. Everybody knows the rules here. Everybody knows what it is. But people just open their mouth and talk what everybody else says.
Yeah, no, I
What
understand.
does that have to do with me being an advocate for a family and giving him a voice? It has nothing to do with that.
I'm not personally saying, I'm just presenting questions. And part of what is being talked about and perceived is that you are not certified. You can be a voice, but your actions need to match only the voice, not extremes, or as so they're being perceived as extremes, and some of the stuff that they've seen in posts.
Okay, so ADA makes me not extreme. That is what I need to not be. That's what I need to be an advocate of an ADA.
No, but you do need to be certified for effective results.
Certified for what?
For being an advocate.
Certified
in the training. Like
well,
you have
what certifications do they have training? Because I've been through it. I have
well, that's fine. I'm bringing the point to light, and I'm trying to give you a chance to let these people know that yes, you are trained, you do have the stuff. But if they want to, when you say that, they're going to want to see it. So
what training? You tell me where is their guidelines, people? Where do they get this? I'd like to know, where's the college guidelines? What guidelines? What classes? What certification? There's no certification that makes you, if you're a CASA, maybe you have to go through certain things to be for the state, but you show me where there is a list of what certification is get, and then come to me and ask me what I need certification for. Because I have ongoing training and things that I do on my own.
Okay.
So when somebody can produce that, I mean, again, people are sitting here trying to shut me down and cut me down.
Well, you have to expect this to be part of the deal. It is this platform.
Yeah,
I'm just putting it forward. There is the question still coming in about why there was Mr. Kenworthy's not wanting Banfield involved and how she still got involved. That's still a big question that keeps popping up. Do you know anything about that? Do you know why? Was it just a rash decision, or?
People have arguments and fights and fits. We usually fight.
Okay.
We fight. People fight. People argue. You want to know how many of those people that are teamed up versus they have a pro-bullying campaign now. Come on, people, really. This is against Fran to pro-bully her. And again, people fight, people argue, and they make up. I mean, nobody gets along with all your coworkers, people. But no, I have proof that he's asked for her before. We just all need to work together for the main goal of one thing: the kids. Everybody else has to concentrate on that. It doesn't matter. He's not upset that Fran helped. I mean, seriously, get over it. It's not high school.
All right. Well, Jamie, I want to thank you for calling back in and getting some of that off your chest and putting your points out there. I think we've hit about all we can hit tonight on this show in regards to this. We're gonna get ready to take a break, but I want to thank you for joining back in. I want to say thank you to Samantha for calling in. I want to thank Mr. Marks for calling in, for Mr. Abernathy calling in, for Deborah calling in, for everybody who's commented and talked about this, except for the trollers. I don't want that stuff on this story. It's not what it's about. So, Jamie, thank you again. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a good night. Okay. All right.
All right.
Hello. Thank you for calling Dig Liberty.
Hi.
Hi. Who am I speaking with?
This is Debbie. I am the creator of the YouTube videos.
Okay. How are you, Debbie, tonight? And do you want to tell me a little bit about the YouTube videos? Because I've seen a few of them during this short bit of time that I've been exposed to this. What do you got?
Let me just turn this down. Hang on.
Okay.
I don't remember to do that. I don't know. What would you like to know?
Well, I want to know. I want to know the history. I want to know where did all this come from? Like, if you guys are to the point of making documentaries, I want to know. I want to know what started this. I think the people want to know what started this.
I'll start from the beginning, which is ironically about 4 days ago.
Oh.
When this story was dropped in my lap.
Okay.
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
And as you know, you probably got a little taste of how incredibly complicated it is.
Yes, it is very complicated, and I know you feel like you're jumping from left to right.
Every character in it is fascinating. So I'm coming from a place of telling a story. Now, I don't have a platform. I don't have an agenda.
Neither do I.
I wanted to get a clear story, what was happening. And it became evident very quickly what was happening. And that was that we would be victimized, not only by the state, according to him, but by these women that were exploiting his, he was in a vulnerable state, let's face it. His wife just died. Well, I say just died, but he's never healed from that, obviously.
Right. And so he was basically having his emotional state exploited by these women during this time, which would support the claims that I've read in the court documents against the housing authority in Virgin, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened after that?
So, okay, so what was the real trigger for me, I think, was when Samantha was, when I call them CPS because that's what they're called here, came in and was going to take the kids. And she basically escalated their fears. And I was like, okay, this is fucked up. This is not normal.
Okay.
Let's figure what's going on.
Okay.
And then it just got better from there with Jamie, who's fantastic. I mean, let's face it, she's a born politician. She can't answer a question. I mean, listen to her. She can't answer a question.
Wow.
You can ask her 7 different ways, and she doesn't have an answer. So, yeah, I mean, she's a great governor. Fantastic. Vote for her.
Okay. So what got you to get started on the YouTube videos? Like
Okay.
What inspired you to tell this story?
I'm sorry, say that last part?
What inspired you to tell the stories or share the story, to call in?
Oh, well, I just get sick of listening to Jamie, to be quite honest. I mean...
Fair enough.
It's obvious what their agenda is. And, you know, I may not agree with Lee and his, whatever he believes in. That's entirely up to him.
Right.
But I definitely don't believe in exploiting him when he's in a position that's very vulnerable.
Right. So you feel like this is potentially another...
He's taken seriously by this. I don't believe that anybody would want her to be their voice if they were thinking clearly. I don't.
What do you say? Do you tend to agree with that comment from what you've seen everything tonight, Dilly?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, it's. Yes, I do. It's a wow to me. I mean, the wow factor is definitely. I mean, I'm not trying to take any sides here. I'm trying to be, down the middle.
Yeah, we're trying to stay completely unbiased. We're just acknowledging the points that are presented. And we understand and can identify with how people might see these points. And I'm glad you called in and talked about this, because I'm sure you've been watching this feed, you've been seeing all the comments. We have over 1,300 comments just from the last hour and 43 minutes. To me, that's insane.
I know, those are all from me.
All of those are from you.
No,
I know, but...
I have a lot to say. Well, we have some more installations of this quasi-documentary, if you will.
Okay.
The next one is all about Francesca. So we're kind of going too deep in why she is...
I want to ask you this question
why she should not be taken... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to ask you this question. Since we're
we seem to be at this particular moment, after us meeting through our communications here, to be on a similar page, quasi-documentary. We want to get to the truth. And you don't have the platform, but I happen to have the platform. Do you think we should maybe partner together and get this truth out there?
I'm open. Yeah. Want to talk after?
Yeah, we will talk after. We'll talk tomorrow. I want to say thank you so much for calling. Okay. Tell me the top video that you've got on this YouTube that is the one that stands out to you the most right now in this quasi-documentary. The one that stands out the most.
The one that
to you.
That I just put out, the 7-minute one that just went out?
Yeah.
Was morning that that Jamie and Samantha were going to court, and they were partying in the car. I just was appalled. I was embarrassed.
Wait a minute. You said they were partying in the car?
I was embarrassed for him, who is dealing with enough. He doesn't need to come out of this situation having to patch up whatever the holes that they're making, because he's not going to be. They're taking his platform down, they're bringing him down, and in the meantime, they're scamming money off of people that support him, and that's really where it hits home.
All right. Well,
don't send the money. Don't send the money. Don't send the money.
There you go, guys.
Don't buy them clothes at Walmart. Don't get them hotel rooms. They're very big girls. They can take care of themselves. They don't need it.
Okay. Well, I got to say thank you so much for sharing, and it means a lot. I'm glad that you called in, and definitely give me a call sometime tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk a little more. All right?
Great.
Have a great night.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay, Amanda England, I just got your message on Facebook Messenger saying the live feed number is wrong. I'm sorry I didn't correct it on the actual display, but the number for you to call is 386-400-2244, 386-400-2244. You got about 5 more minutes. We're going to take maybe one more call, and then we got to wrap it up because we could stay on this thing all night. And
yes, we can.
Some of us have to work tomorrow, like those two that you can't see. So, but I got to tell you, I just want to say thanks for all of the feed and for everything coming in. Like, this has just been. We want the truth. We want the truth. We've heard multiple sides. We heard the side don't give them money. We've heard the side to support them. We've heard the side that they're legit. We've heard the side that don't have paperwork. Like, if you were just catching this is crazy. And now we have the potential to do this YouTube thing. We just had some YouTube stuff posted up. Proof of housing authority, corruption all around. Constantly refuse to do any work. This is going to go deep, and like I said in the previews this past week, I will be shocked. I will be shocked if ABC or NBC or CNN or Fox doesn't pick this up. You know what? Pick them up. Come on, I'll be on the show. I'm a nobody. That's probably why you don't want to hear from me. But guess what? You're going to hear about it here. So, we got any other questions coming in? Dilly, you want to put some 2 cents in here? I feel like you're sick of my voice, man.
It's hard to put 2 cents into this when there's so many different situations in this. My heartfelt condolences go to the children first off. I mean, they're the ones that are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Yes.
They lost a mother and they've got a father, guilty, not guilty. It doesn't make a difference. They're the ones that are stuck. Now they are the ones that have. I hope that they don't have the opportunity to listen to this because, oh my God, I can't imagine what this would put them through. I mean, the children are the ones that are going to suffer the most, especially with, obviously mom being gone and now dad, he's not dead, but he's not in the situation.
Right,
so it's kind of like.
He has no say now in anything. No. I mean, he's isolated. I can understand the feeling of isolation. I deal with it on a regular. I couldn't imagine dealing with that isolation, the situation, just losing my wife recently and my kids all at the same time. I'd be insane. I don't know what I would do. I think part of them is probably holding together really well, in my opinion, honestly.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not a praying man, you know me. I don't like to pray. I'm not one of them guys, but I do hope that these that justice is
Sorry for
served.
the fireworks in the background, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that the kids are brought up and are shown the respect that children need to have, and I hope that everybody leaves the children alone.
Right.
Out of all of this, and the outcome, whatever the outcome be, that they are taken care of seriously, and because they're definitely going to need a lot of caring and nurturing.
I do too.
For a while, and,
yes,
and
they are.
That's what sucks the most, is they're the ones that are. We can debate this all night long with Jane, Deborah, all these people that are coming up on our scroll feed here,
right? And to answer your question, Kiki Clemens, no one specifically talked to Lee today. It was the directive of the nurse and the doctor passing the information that he was going to be moved. Well, I don't know, man. I got to say, I think we can leave it on this note here tonight. This was a hell of a show. We didn't anticipate things to go exactly the way they went, but they did, and we're gonna keep at it, and we're gonna keep picking it apart. I know there's gonna be a lot more talk and controversy about this over the next few days. I know that people are gonna want to prove themselves. I hope that people didn't feel too attacked, and if you did, I apologize. It was out of my control. We try to stay focused on the narrative of Mr. Kenworthy. That's why I was specifically clear in my previous post today, and I even thought and made a post about 2 hours before we went live discussing the fact that we need to stay on the Kenworthy narrative and not all of the other stuff that's going on. So I appreciate everybody for not heckling and not trolling and doing all that crazy stuff. I want to say thank you to everybody who's interacted. There's been so many, I wish I could name you all, but I can't do that. It'd take me the next 2 hours. But I want to say thank you guys very much for taking this serious and for checking us out. We're going to keep it going and keep it driving, and we're only getting started, guys. So thanks again for my governor candidate in South Dakota, Mr. C.J. Abernathy. Thank you again for Christopher Marks calling and putting his scent on this, and thank you to Jamie and Samantha for calling, sharing all this with us. I promise we'll get all these details worked out. We'll have a clear, concise story here really soon. So, without much further ado, from me to you and Dilly too, I want to say you guys are awesome. We love America. We're gonna make it great. Not to quote Trump, because I didn't say it again. We need to make a great start. It's been a while. And I want to say thanks to Dilly because he's been a major support. I want to say thanks to Hood News Global for powering us. You can check us out and hear us on their website at any time. That's www.hoodnewsglobal.com. You can go to dickliberty.com and get the live feed. We're trying to bring it to you the best we can. We want to keep it professional. We want to keep it real. You guys have a great night. Thank you much. Love you. Mean it. Dick Liberty. All things American. We're out. I'm going to take the time for the music to play.